Hey everyone, it is Kim Krompass and I want to welcome you back. Today I have another Forex trading video for you to look at and some things that I want to talk about. This week has been a little bit chaotic, and chaotic can mean that there's opportunity to both make money and to lose money. Depending on how good of a trading method you have or a trade plan that you have and how well you can execute on that plan and not control your emotions, but actually work with your emotions and use your emotions to fuel your trading activity. Let's go out to the charts and take a look. I want to talk to you about today, Thursday, April 23rd. Okay, what we are looking at together is a chart of the New Zealand dollar. And I want to talk about this pair because this pair this morning was moving very nicely. First thing was, we had a red news event at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 a.m. Pacific. I live in California, and I come into my office at 5 a.m. Pacific typically to start looking at the market. So let's talk about what I saw this morning. What I saw was this beautiful clear directional move long overnight that had a nice pullback, a little sideways here, and then a leg up, and then more pullback. This is where I come into my office, 5 a.m., and I could see that this pair was ready to have an entry if I wanted to take it. So I took it here. And now, remember, I have to be out before the red news at 5:30 a.m. my time, 8:30 Eastern. So I had a target, a limit set up here. And well in advance of the news coming out, price accelerated up on these two candles. And I was able to come out of this first trade with plus 36. Which was a really nice way to start my morning. Typically, I start out with losses. So this was kind of I don't know if it was a good omen, but nonetheless, it was a nice little treat gift to start my morning. Then we had the news event. And then at 6 a.m., I do the New York trade planning session with the membership. And that's right on this candle right here. So no trades, obviously, after this one came out. Remember, we had the news right here on this little green candle. Then there was nothing to trade on the news. Then I start the planning session, and in the planning session we actually had this pair hitting the yellow line for a pullback entry. And then when I got done, which is usually right before 6:30, 9:30 Eastern, the New York Open, there was an entry here. So I got back into this move right here, you can see on this candle. And I was able to take this up, this nice acceleration up. Whoops, wrong candle. Drawing tool, I should say. And I was able to take this up. And although I had a target set up here at the next level, it never made it up. And right here on this candle, I started to get a little spooked. It was starting to get a little bit later in the session. And I took that second trade off for plus 20. So just on this one pair this morning, I booked 56 pips on two trades. All right, now let's go talk about the dollar CAD. Hey everyone, we're back and we're looking at the dollar CAD now. And there's three trades on here that we're going to talk about, two winners and one loser. First, let's go over what the market read was. Overnight, there was a nice big drop. But by the time the London session began, that drop was taken away and created a range for us in the New York session. So this is what it looked like. We had a high here and we had this low of this range. And then on the, I think it was 5:30 a.m., right after the news, this candle broke the range. Closed nicely outside of the range, had a nice acceleration down, and then pulled back. I had a protective stop. You can see it right here. And this trade was locked for plus 16 and actually was taken out at plus 16. So that was trade number one. Here's trade number two. It's called a momentum trade. This trade did not work out. It was a losing trade. I lost 10 pips. But what it did do was set me up beautifully for a re-entry trade. And re-entry trades, we have specific rules around those. This was a beautiful re-entry right at the 80. I think it was. Let me look at my journal. Yes, it was at the 80. So the momentum trade was at 84.1, and this was at 80. So I got back into this, and this was the big move down here. This one actually you can see price tagged this 00 number, and I was looking to get limited out with 80 pips. It didn't go deep enough. It didn't hit my limit and sucked back on me. And by the time I had moved my protective stop, you can see this little red hash line here, and I ended up coming out with plus 60, which is still an awesome trade. All right. So this total today on the CAD was worth 66 pips. There was a lot of price action this morning. The yen's flipped on us, and if you weren't paying attention, if you weren't fast enough, if you got stunned, then you could have missed some of these moves. This was not part of that flipping move. The New Zealand dollar, which we started with, was not part of the flipping move either. So these were just solid trades that we see day in and day out, and we plan for these trades in our trade planning session and also right before we begin the trade planning session. All right, let's talk about what you can do moving forward. First, let's just talk about our trading guidelines here at the Price Action Traders Institute. One is you have to have a planning process, and we have a very simple 20-second trade planning process that we can do on any pair. It will allow you to identify your setups. At least if you identify where the setups are, then you can decide to trade them or not. So the third one is you choose which pairs you want to trade or you don't want to trade. And then 4, you actually execute on the plan. All right? Let's talk about reaching out to us and finding out where you can contact me. And I just want to say thank you again for listening. I know you have a lot of choices of who you listen to about Forex trading or about trading in general. And I appreciate you coming to my YouTube channel and listening to some of these videos. Trading doesn't have to be so complicated, and we've simplified it down to a very price action driven method that is very simple to learn. You can visit us at our website at priceactiontradersinstitute.com. You can email me if you want to ask me any questions, info@priceactiontradersinstitute.com. There's also a form on the website which says contact us, and it will send me an email. You can also see what we do on Twitter. I'm Price Action Kim, and Kevin, my London session specialist, is at UK2 Asia. All right. So love to hear from you. Would love to give you an invitation to join our membership. We also have a great online course for those of you that don't want to be part of a membership. And you can check that out also on our website at priceactiontradersinstitute.com. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you.